Coffee, coffee, coffee. I love coffee. Oh, hi. How are you? So I just got an email from my buddy Tyler, who is heading out to True Grit Epic in a couple weeks, as am I. He's going to race. I'm going to film. He is a pretty badass 50-plus masters racer in cyclocross road and now mountain. He emailed me a few questions, so I am going to answer the questions for him, which may prove useful for some of you, except for the know-it-alls. All right, so he has three basic questions. First one is classic tire choice. He's basically asking, should he run faster rolling tires without sidewall protection, lighter tires, or higher volume tires with more tread, basically? I would go, at this race, I would go with higher volume, burlier tread. Tread's not super important. You're not digging into the surface there, but higher volume for sure. It's a chunky course. It's a ledgy. There's lots of rocks. There's very little pavement, except for at the start finish. Very little. And very little like straight up fire road. So I would go with a higher volume, lower tread tire with sidewall protection. I don't think, there's not really a lot of pure climbing. There's not a really wide open stuff. So going with an aggressive mountain bike tire is not going to hold you back. Question number 2. So he says, I'm a big hydrator. You know, sometimes when you're a big hydrator, you're also a big sweater dude. You're a big sweater, you know. I don't know what's wrong with me. I sweat a lot, dude. I don't know, it's just my nature. So I'm a big hydrator, and I swear by my Camelback, which I will wear there. Anything else you can tell me on the aid stops? Yeah, I mean, you can run a Camelback or a hydration pack, Osprey pack, what have you. Just because, I mean, some of the areas are really technical. You can run a hydration pack. I don't think it's necessary. I think the aid stations, you're hitting them twice per lap. So the format of this race is I think it's 45-mile-ish laps, and the big kids do 2 of those. I think you're hitting the aid stations at least 4 times per lap, I believe. Maybe more. Maybe there might be more out there. I don't know. But look on the website if you're worried about it. But you could start with a bottle and a couple gels in your pocket, and you would be fine. It's not going to be super hot. Could be a little warm. Might be cold at the start. Yeah, but there's a huge portion of the course where you can feed, you can drink. But there will be sections where you won't really be able to grab a bottle or take a gel on. But there's going to be a spot down the road, so don't worry too much about it. So either way, run a hydration pack if that's what you're comfortable with, or not. It's not necessary. This isn't a backcountry race. It's well supported. The final and most interesting question is, if you were to get there 2 days early, which I do, and could ride 1 or maybe 2 parts of the course, you would ride what? All right, so I think there are 3 parts of the course, I'm going to do them in descending order here, that you need to check out, or you should check out if you want. I'm not going to tell you what to do. I wouldn't do that. I'm not that guy. I'm not that guy. All right, so first off, pretty easily accessible is Barrel Roll up here. This is the start-finish. This is a road. It goes right in, and there's a trailhead here you won't be able to access on race day, but pre-race day, no problem. You go right there. There's maps, everything. Tell you exactly where to go. You're going to go clockwise on Barrel Roll. The reason I'd say check this out, this is if you have time. If you have time, check this out. But it's a short enough ride where, you go, do this, have lunch, then you can go back out and check out another part of the course. It's not that long. There is like a little bit of a technical section. Overall, I'd say like 90% not super technical, but there is this one rocky section back there, that you might want to check out, or you might end up walking a little bit. But it's not. I don't think it's gonna be super definitive. Not definitive. If you got time, that is the number. Such an amazingly pro graphic, dude. That's number 3. 3. Number 2. Number 2 is, I think it's Barrel Trail. So that's in this section of the course. Also accessible from the aid station down here. You can kind of maybe backtrack. The markings should be up if you're there a few days before the race. Go backtrack from the aid station up until you see this super steep thing that you can't possibly climb up. And I believe there was some debate last year, but I believe that is what's called Waterfall, as you see here. And it's a precipitous sort of drop off. Again, it's sort of like the barrel thing. It's not, if you walk that, it's not going to kill your race. If you are fighting it out in a group, it could screw you pretty hard. But you'll see a lot of people walking it if they haven't looked at it prior to the race. So maybe go check that out. Maybe go check out Barrel and Waterfall. That's number 2. My graphics people are amazing. Before we get to number 3, just a note on the rest of the course, because you might be going like, why aren't you talking about the rest of the course, dude? There's all this stuff over here. It's so much stuff. There's not a lot going on down there. You once you drop down here, down through into Bearclaw Poppy, that's sort of just this smooth, swoopy thing, and there's kind of multiple lines, but I don't know if they really matter. I've ridden it, and they kind of go this way and that, and I would just like pin it and not worry too much about it. I mean, worrying about it is you're not gonna get lost. There's only like one effective trail, although it looks like many trails down through this section. So pin it down through Bearclaw, and then you're gonna go back up Stucky. Is that what it's called? Stucky? And that's really all this stuff. Super smooth, slight uphill gradient, pretty much all the way to here, and not a lot going on up here. You're gonna hit that before you go to the aid station up here before you go into barrel roll. So this part of the course is where you put the power down, or it's where you recover, or it's where you crack, or whatever. I don't know, but it's not, that part of the course is not entirely worth pre-riding. It's long, and compared to the rest, it's a little boring. But it's where that's where you race. That's where you pedal hard, dude. You put out the watts, dude. I will say one thing. Okay, I'm getting all sidetracked, but that's what I do. So going into Bearclaw Poppy is a thing here called the 3 Fingers of Death, dude. And they're really not that scary, but maybe don't go barreling into them blindly if you haven't looked at them. That's a super accessible part of the course. So I wouldn't recommend pre-riding if you don't have time, the whole Bearclaw Poppy Stucky thing. But you could go up from that aid station, same aid station. This course is wicked accessible, dude. Drive up, there's a trailhead, there's a gate. You go in there, I don't know if there's a map up there. I think it's by a water tower or something. But you just drop in, go look at the 3 Fingers of Death, and just choose your line. You can send it a little bit, or you can roll the stuff. It's not that crazy. What you don't want to do is if you're really in a race with someone, you don't want to go in blind, get nervous, and then go all the way over to the left, which I see people doing. Like if you're going in blind, I would say sort of favor the right side, like straight to right as you drop in, because the trail is going to go off to the right, down into Bearclaw Poppy eventually. So yeah, avoid those left lines. I think some of them are easier. A lot of them still have like they're not like mandatory drops, and I think you can roll any one of them. But maybe go look at that. Maybe go look at the 3 Fingers of Death. They're not that bad. Definitely not as bad as the Waterfall. All right, and lastly, but not leastly, Zen Trail. The Zen Trail is this over here. This map is a mess now. And you access that from this aid station, the famous aid station here. And you're going to do that, what's that? Is that counterclockwise? You're going to go that away. My Subaru Forester will be over here, packed in the desert, dude, on the BLM land. So, you see me, come say hi. Don't be a stranger, dude. It's not like a super hard technical climb, but it's like there are multiple lines on a lot of Zen Trail, up and down, and you're kind of going to want to pick them. And there are things that are slower. There's things where if you come into them and you don't know they're coming, you might come off your bike and you might be walking or you might be confused. A word on course markings is, this is like the opposite of heads up riding. This is heads down riding, because out there it's rock, it's desert. There's bushes and piles of rocks. They can't, it's not like the East Coast where they are in East Coast or Midwest or most normal places where you can put an arrow on a tree to tell you where you're going. No, they put like a ribbon on a rock or a bush, and you have to be looking down kind of or ahead to see where those are. So people do get lost, but it's mostly because they're not paying attention. The course is really well marked, but it's marked differently than what a lot of us are used to, especially from the East Coast. Out there, I guess you're used to it. That is number one. Number one spot to check out is Zen Trail. Check out Zen Trail. Number two is go look at the Waterfall area. Number three is Barrel Roll. And I guess number four would kind of be like the whole backside of the course, the whole Bear Claw Poppy thing, which isn't really that complicated. You can figure it out on race day. Don't worry about it. You also, if you're doing the big race, you got 2 laps. So you screw something up the first lap, you're gonna figure it out. But Zen Trail is complicated enough where you might screw it up if you had 5 laps. I still screw stuff up, and I've ridden it, I don't know, a dozen times. But anyway, I hope that was somewhat informative. And, hit me up in the comments if you got more questions. I would be happy to answer them to the best of my ability. I'm just telling you what I know personally. I don't know. Other people might know other things, and they might have differing opinions. If you've done this race and you've got anything to add to this, put it in the comments. Be nice as always. All right. Thanks for watching, guys. See you later.